The MLB season is upon us, and if you want to make it a fun MLB season, you should probably learn how to be a profitable sports bettor when betting on baseball. And that's exactly what we are going to detail in this video, specifically talking about MLB player props, batter props, pitcher props, MLB player props, and how to be a profitable sports bettor when betting these MLB player props. I have a strategy that has made me thousands of dollars in the past year betting on the MLB. As you can see in the screenshot here, thousands of dollars made betting on player props, and I'm going to detail my strategy of how I was able to do that in this video. As for me, my name is Matt Modi. I am a content creator and betting analyst for OddsJam.com. While you're here watching this video, number one, I appreciate you. I would also appreciate it if you could like the video, comment, let me know your thoughts, feedback, good, bad, whatever it may be, super helpful. And then, of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also find me on my social media handle you see on the screen here at Jedi Modi. I post a bunch of free MLB player prop picks over the course of the day, as well as just some helpful analysis, stuff like that. So definitely recommend giving me a follow. I put a link to that in the description of the video, as well as the pinned comments. But betting on baseball, admittedly, is pretty tough. When there's 162 games, there is a lot of variance on a night-to-night basis. So there are going to be some dark days when betting on baseball, no doubt about it. But it has been a profitable venture for me as well, no doubt about that. So hopefully with these strategies, we can minimize the dark days a little bit and we can get right into it. So let's first talk about batter props, because obviously more than any other sport, baseball has two distinct different types of props: batter props, pitcher props. Let's start with batter props. The first thing that you need to do, and this is the most important things, sirens should be going off in your head about how important this is you need to check the rules of the sportsbook you are placing the bet with. What I mean by that is, if you take a batter prop on FanDuel, you take Mike Trout to go over 1.5 total bases, and he doesn't start the game, but he does come in and pitch hit, so he only has one at bat, FanDuel will still count that bet. Most sportsbooks will void if your player doesn't start. FanDuel will not. So it's imperative that you understand the rules of the sportsbook you're placing the bet with. So depending on the sportsbook that you are using, I wouldn't lock in any bets until the lineups are announced. Baseball, more than any other sport, the lineups are incredibly important. Like for basketball, you're waiting on injury news, right? For baseball, it's just, is this player going to rest or not? Is this player going to sit out? So lineups, waiting for lineups to lock in your bets is definitely a strategy that I would recommend. If it means waiting a little bit to place a bet and losing something that you really like, so be it, because I think that will be more profitable, more helpful in the long run. But when betting on batter props, and this is going to sound obvious, so I'm sorry if it does, but splits matter. And when I say splits matter, I mean between right-handed pitchers and left-handed pitchers, both in how successful they are against the type of pitcher, and then also how often they play. There are some batters that might rake against a right-handed pitcher that legitimately might not even play against a left-handed pitcher, or might just be down in the lineup. So it goes from like second down to sixth, seventh, something like that. So like when you're looking at a batter's stats, just specifically look at his splits when you're looking at a right-handed pitcher versus a left-handed pitcher, obviously depending on who he is going up against. So splits matter with batter props. Another thing that matters is the weather in conjunction with the ballpark that they are playing in. Baseball is unique. Every single home stadium is different. It's not like a basketball court, a football field, a soccer field. The stadiums are different. Some stadiums, like Coors Field in Denver, are hitters' ballparks. Some stadiums, like Petco Field in San Diego, are pitchers' ballparks. You're going to want to know that information when you're betting on a batter, as well as the weather. Now, OddsJam actually does partner with a website called Ballpark Pal that tracks the weather and gives you statistical information based on the weather and the stadium. So depending on where the wind's blowing, one stadium might be more conducive to home runs over another. Just because the wind is blowing out to right field might not help every single stadium. It depends. So this type of information is incredibly important. I've cashed a lot of home run props solely from looking at the weather and the stadium. Now, obviously, this isn't everything, all right? The pitching matchup, who the batter is, all that stuff matters. But baseball, more than anything, is very weather and very ballpark specific. So all that information matters. So use the data. It's important. Now let's talk about pitcher props. And when I talk about pitcher props, for me, the most common market that I bet for a pitcher prop is the strikeout prop. And contrary to what you might think, when I am looking at targeting a pitcher to go over or under a strikeout prop, I actually look at the team he is batting against more so than the actual pitcher. Again, the pitcher matters. If the guy stinks, it doesn't matter. But there are some pitchers that stink that might get a lot of strikeouts depending on who they are pitching against. To put it simply, there are certain teams that are just straight up strikeout teams. We see a screenshot here, the San Francisco Giants, the perfect example of an ultimate strikeout team. They've played fewer games and have struck out more than literally any other team in the MLB. You're going to want to target a pitcher against the Giants. Now, one thing I'll get into a little bit later, I'll save the best for last. You're not just going to want to, okay, every single starting pitcher against the Giants, take their strikeout prop over. You're going to want to make sure that you're getting value. You're not just going to want to blindly do it. You also, like I mentioned in the batter prop section, you want to know the lineups. If there are certain batters that strike out more often than not, just wait until they become confirmed to be in the lineup or not. If they're not, maybe you hold off. If they are, go ahead and hammer that pitcher. But looking at the teams and if they're a strikeout team or not, very important. It's not as easy as just looking at the best and worst teams in baseball and making decisions based off of that. My favorite example, the Nationals, one of the worst teams in baseball. They also strike out the least amount in baseball, both in total strikeouts and in strikeouts per game. So if you're saying, oh, this pitcher's going against the Nats, you're going to want to target that pitcher. It's actually quite the opposite. You're going to want to target their under despite having a very favorable pitching matchup. But similar again to the batter props, you're going to want to look at how these teams perform versus right-handed versus left-handed pitchers, right? A team might be a strikeout team against a left-handed pitcher, but not a right-handed pitcher, and vice versa. And that's entirely different. It's another thing that's unique to baseball. There are dramatic swings, dramatic splits based on certain information like this. And one of them is just literally what hand the pitcher throws with. All that stuff is incredibly important. And the last thing, and I saved this for last on purpose, you're going to want to bet with value. You're never, ever going to want to blindly hammer pitcher props or batter props or whatever without checking the market and making sure you are getting some value. So I have two screenshots on the screen here. One pitcher prop, one batter prop. The pitcher prop, great bet. Great bet. We see an insane outlier on Caesars at -106 compared to every other sportsbook. That's a great bet. Also, the pitcher is pitching against a team that doesn't strike out that often. So not only are you getting a valuable bet on an under, but it's against a team that doesn't strike out that often. That's an example of a bet you want to hammer. Now I have the batter prop example. Another insane outlier we see here on FanDuel. Now, as I mentioned, FanDuel grades their batter props differently than every other sport. So if you are going to hammer this FanDuel prop, just wait until the batter gets confirmed to be in the lineup. But these are the exact types of examples that you are looking for. Outliers compared to the rest of the sports books. Now, that's obviously not unique to baseball, but it is important to do that when you are betting on baseball too. So all these different things, the most important thing, just bet for value. But that's pretty much it. That's the MLB betting strategy specifically for player props, batter props, pitcher props, weather, ballpark, right or left-handed pitchers. All that stuff is incredibly important. So hopefully this video is helpful. Hopefully you are now ready to cash when betting on the MLB. But that's all I got for you. So again, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Below are all of my different social medias where I post picks and plays daily. Make sure to hit me up there. Also, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as I'm constantly putting out new videos to learn how to make money sports betting. And that's it. So thanks for watching and have a good one.